All right. So we're out hiking today, going up what they call the Monk's Trail from the base down here at Doi Suthep, or at least a specific spot where I drive my bike to, and then it goes up to Wat Phra That, which is sort of the halfway point between here and the top of Doi Suthep. And there's a monk's temple and stuff up at Wat Phra That. Pretty cool. So this will be about my 11th time to go up and down this trail. I've been going basically for fitness. I figured, man, you know what? This is a great spot for getting my hiking in and getting cardio. And the whole way up takes me about 25 minutes if I just go straight and don't stop. There's plenty of places to stop if you want to adventure more. But for my, see, I'm already out of breath. I've only been on it for a minute. Going up, it's about an elevation of 500 plus feet. So we start at like 1,400 feet and go up to 1,900 feet, give or take. I know that I average about 2 miles an hour and the most is 7 miles an hour. All I know is this is from my app on my Samsung phone. Average of 300 calories burnt during that time. I don't know how accurate all that is, but it's what the smartphone says. So yeah, there's a lot of good hiking around Chiang Mai. Even though I typically prefer the beach, I definitely have come to enjoy the mountains out here by Chiang Mai. It's probably the best part about it. It's a big city with a lot of different things going on, a lot of different areas, but the mountains are really where it's at out here. There's a lot of great camping, and you can do things like see different waterfalls, different hikes, elephants, things like that. And so this is a free trail that people go to all the time. Many tourists I'll see along here every single time I come. Somebody from a different part of the world. And then some people like me that just come up here all the time for their fitness. And then there's crazy people that are like trail runners. You'll have to forgive me, my breath is running out because this is uphill the whole way. Yeah, there's trail runners here that you pass them, or they'll pass you, literally just jogging up and down here. They're usually out in groups, because I think that's kind of dangerous to do out here. Going up this path, there's varying terrain. At this moment, I'm at the bottom part where there's a ton of loose rocks. And then there's some other areas that, oh look, there's usually where I stop and tie my shoe when I need to. Further up, there's different types of terrain. In the rain it sucks because there's some really muddy spots and slick spots that you have to sort of tiptoe around. And then other than that, there's some areas that are kind of like stair steps with like tree roots that you can step onto. And then a couple areas that are so low that they're so low that you actually have to duck under. In fact, some of it, there's like 2 spots where I think they should actually cut some stuff down out here, because honestly, it's too low even for me. Like, I'm bending down to like 2 feet high, and I can imagine somebody with some mobility problems or an elderly person trying to hike here having a big issue. Now the thing is, going up, you lose your breath the whole way because it's cardio and you're going against gravity. But going down, it's a different set of issues because you, first of all, you're still getting exercise, but you're not getting winded. You know, all those muscles in your legs are activating, but it's different muscles. Yeah, so like on the way down, you're constantly scanning your footsteps to make sure that you don't step on anything, because one wrong step will cause you to twist an ankle or fall or trip on something. So the whole way down is an exercise in precision, precision stepping. Just passed by a lady too who was trying to eat something on her way down. And proved the point. I wish I got that on camera. She was trying to take a bite and tripped and Took like 3 steps to the side without falling, thankfully, but that just shows like every step on the way down, you have to know what you're doing. Typically, I try to stay on the left-hand side of the path, but various people don't follow that same thing. Definitely people from different countries or tourists follow a different way. It's a lovely little section of the trail that doesn't have much sun, which honestly, only a few parts actually have a lot of sun. But this part's a little bit forgiving because it's kind of flat. I say kind of flat. We're still going up, but not every single step is up. You'll see these all along the way to let you know you're still on the path. There's certain pathways off the main pathway here that you're not supposed to go down. They'll mark it with signs. I think that's just for maintenance or monk stuff. But there are definitely spots where you can go. There's several different sort of pit stops along the way where you can curve off a little bit. As well as there's another Wat that's like 500 meters over. Once you get almost to the top here, you can veer off and go. But I have yet to do that because that'll take a specific date where I'm very committed to the long hike. Anagami, 500 meters that way. I've never been that way. I think you have to start with those super tall steps up there, which I'm already afraid of. And I'm sure it's an adventure. One of these days I got to do it. Out there I can hear a river rushing along. And up a little bit further, you'll hit a spot where you see a bunch of rushing water on the left, almost like waterfalls, but it's just like a little river flow. Once you get there, you know you're only 5 minutes from the top. We also have weird stuff like this that I don't know if that's a tree trunk or an anthill. Definitely afraid to put my hands on it though. So it looks like something a bunch of giant termites might crawl out of. If you look here, you can see this part that's very soft sand. It was rained upon recently. There's like big ravines. So I don't know how often these trails are touched up or maintained, but I think somebody has to go through every once in a while and fill in some of those gaps. Ooh, here's the sun. Here's one of those other spots where you can go off trekking in the distance a little bit. Here's a landmark that you see every time, this big U-shaped branch that has come down, or it's like part of a ginormous vine. That's about 12 inches wide right there at the base. And it goes all the way up that tree, twisting and stuff, and then comes down here, right in the middle of the path. Now, I don't know why they don't just sort of tie it up or something, because it's cool to see, but they could put it in a way that doesn't block 80% of the path. That's just a small detour. It just goes back there like 50 yards and circles around. And then I think it actually comes back out up here just a bit. This is one of the rare parts of the trail where it's flat. It's nice when it's flatter because you get a chance to catch your breath a little bit, slow your heart rate down just enough for the next phase. Yeah, definitely good exercise. Man, I come out here, I would say I've been averaging twice a week for the last almost 2 months, you know. Like I said, this is like my 11th time since I've been counting. And every time I feel a sense of pride in having made it, and also just knowing that I got some more exercise in that I need, you know. It's pretty funny. Just crossed paths with sort of a redneck guy who was obviously from America. He's like, got about 5 miles left, with his accent and everything. And I'm like, okay, yeah, cool, thanks. But then he tried to correct and say, nah, you got about 3/4 of a mile. But I'm like, I've been up this thing so many times, I can pretty much tell you how many minutes I got left. based on the landmark I'm at. Here's one of those horrible spots that gets super muddy when it rains. Right now it's fairly muddy. Hadn't rained since last night, but all of this gross stuff, like, you start learning that there's certain spots you can step, like that brick or this wood. As long as you don't step in the slick mud, you'll probably be okay. Slick mud is my nemesis, I've learned here in Thailand. The only time I've ever fallen off a bike in my whole life was here in Thailand, and it was because the slick mud knocked our tires right from under us. This is cool. This one, at least you can walk through. Ooh. Ooh, and then you don't want to tumble down there. It's beautiful here. Nice easy spot. A lot of times this is where a bottleneck happens because this gross mud. I don't know why they don't put something here that helps with this. Yeah, we'll go over this. Just got to step in the right spots, step on stones and step on logs, and you'll get there. But yeah, half the time I come up here, if there's any rain that just happened, then there'll be a family of people waiting there because they're trying to figure out how to get across. It's kind of neat how this embankment is formed. I don't know if it's man-made, but beautiful way that they bend the trees and stuff over here. Look how high out of the ground those things stick out. So you always want to make sure of where you're stepping because you could trip easy if you're not paying attention. Here's one of the spirit houses. You can stop and donate there or make a tribute or something. A lot of people do that. Down here we've got some rushing water. Ooh, there was a spider. I don't know if you can see that on camera. Yeah, lovely rushing water there. Oh, a fresh log. This wasn't here last time. I've noticed through a lot of my hiking out here in Thailand, they often leave trees on the path for a long time. Sometimes they don't pick them up at all, or sometimes they'll just pick up new ones. Not sure why. Okay, and here's the gorgeous little area with the river where I could literally just, if this was my backyard or somewhere, you know, that I was coming casually, I would definitely just hang out there and sit in the river with my shoes off. You got a little waterfall back there. Kind of hard to tell what you can see on camera here. Through that little hole, there's some rapids. And that definitely means that we're within 5 minutes of being to the top. You can also tell because of these super low canopies. This is the part where we actually have to bend down a couple times. Which that part sucks. Okay. Lovely, huh? Oh yeah, this sucks. This is so low that I basically have to bend all the way down like I'm limboing just to get through here. What also sucks is a lot of times there's ants walking across these, so if you reach your hand up to grab it, it might land on ants. Thankfully right now, boy, it's not. Woo! Look at that. Pain in the ass. It's only that tall and I'm this tall. Sucks, man. But aside from that, everything else is kind of straightforward. That's the only part where you really have to bend down. Here's one of those lovely step areas. Signaling basically the last few minutes of the hike. Okay. We're making it. So here we are now. Palat Sagadami. That's technically the name of Wat Phra That up there. Palat is coming right up. So we're at the very tail end of this hike to Palat. And then once we get up there, we'll see some some waterfalls and some bridges, and then there'll be the temple grounds up top where I always stop and get maybe a water or something and walk around just a little bit and then head straight back down whenever I'm not sightseeing and I'm just trying to get my fitness in, you know. Shoulder's hurting a bit. Took a hit on the motorbike about a month ago and it's still healing, so I'm feeling that. And here we are at the tail end of the actual trail. Gets out into the open, you can see some sun. Tend to see more people coming in and out right at this point. Please dress appropriately. All right, and here's the bridge. Over the bridge, and now we're at the top of the hill. Technically, there's still a few more steps to go, but wow. Check out the beautiful waterfall. And of course, you go up lovely rock steps here. There's a pagoda if you want to stop and take a picnic. And people typically stop and hang out in the waterfall here, which you're totally allowed to do. Beautiful spot. Yeah, that's a lovely spot to hang out. And the cool water flowing. And then right up top, you have the flat pool of water that feeds that waterfall. Lovely placid little pond that goes under this bridge. And it's right next to this ancient temple. And further back you see the other waterfall feeding into this, which in turn goes through this bridge out into, and then you can see Chiang Mai off in the distance back there, way, way off in the distance, a few miles away. And now we enter the temple grounds. Many, many different temples here. You hear the bell. That must be the monks' lunch. There's a water well. I've actually seen people come and get the water here before. We'll walk up to the central area here, sort of just the central point of the Wat. Absolutely beautiful statues. Pretty awesome, huh? Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Got some elephants over here too. Not real elephants, but modeled after real elephants. Look, in a stagecoach seat. And there's also a little pagoda over there where they do monk meets. You can come and hang out with the monks and have chats. And then basically, there's more to see, but I just always walk right up here and get my bottle of water at the little vendor at the top here. And then turn around and go back the other way. But there's the beautiful grounds here too. You can go inside of there. It's a huge grass area for like ceremonies and stuff. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah. It's nice to just get a bottle of water here and stare out over this view of Chiang Mai, which is incredibly massive out here. You definitely cannot get the scope of it in this little camera. Goes way, way off in the distance. You can see the mountains clear on the other side of town, which is like an hour drive from here. And then hundreds of thousands of homes and businesses out there. This is just one small section of the city too. It's massive, but lovely to see. All right, so we just had our water and I'm about to head back down. Usually takes me about 20 minutes, 22 minutes. And I won't talk on the way down. I'm just going to do a time lapse so we can see my whole journey on the way down. So you ready? Let's go.